Alright, let's snipe some bad guys. You ready? Doink. Doink. Did I get him? No. Doink that one. We'll take that 3. Take it. Approximately 1 year ago, a game called Deadside was released on the Steam store. At the time of the release, Tarkov had just blown up, so this was the perfect time to get on board with a sandbox survival game with hardcore elements. Marketed as a quick-to-play looter shooter with a gorgeous environment, the game became a hit. For like a month. Look, the game was fun, but there wasn't much to do. Hopping into a Tarkov-style game was a good time, but it was soon realized that there really was nothing to do in this game. There wasn't much content. You could run all the way across the map and hardly see anything but trees and sunlight. Sure, the graphics were beautiful, so that helped out a bit, but really there was nothing to do. So on the anniversary of release, I wanted to take a look back and see what's changed, what's been added, what's been tweaked, what's gotten better or worse, just see if the game's worth getting back into. The devs just released somewhat of a developer's blog to talk about all the changes coming in the game in the future. Currently, the game is on build 0.1.11, and that's of December 2020. So it's been a few months since the last update, and it looks like it's going to be a bit more time with the next one. I'll talk briefly about what's been added to the game, and then I'll talk a little bit more about what's coming. But before I do, if you like this content and want to be up to date with more hardcore tactical shooters, head on down and hit that subscribe button for me. It helps me think that I'm an okay creator. My name is Tacti, thanks for stopping by. Alright, let's get into it. Initially, the game launched in a state with a gigantic map and several towns along the way, and honestly, it ran pretty well. It was pretty well optimized. There were these small points of interest where you could find some good loot, and some bigger ones where you would fight AI and get even spicier loot. Random missions would occasionally pop up on the screen where the goal, again, was to kill the AI and then get some loot and money so you could take it to the safe zone and then buy a great weapon and pwn noobs. You could also grab supplies to build your own base. Several updates later, easy anti-cheat was added to make hacking in the game a bit more difficult, so that's a good thing. And then after about a month of development, there was a wipe, so you didn't have squat left in your inventory and you were poor again, because what else is there to do once you've got everything you wanted in 3 days? Alright, that's fine. A month after launch, the game is more stable, everything is reset, they're adding more to the game. Great. Another month goes by, and this is where they began adding some good stuff. Code locks could be placed on base doors so that only you and your homies could get into the base. A campfire was added because of, looks, I guess. And then good stuff like weapons were added. Currently, I believe the game has about 23 weapons after this edition. Most importantly with this update, however, are the optics. Prior to this, there wasn't anything that had any magnification, if I recall correctly. There may have been a scope on a Mosin, but that's about it. For a giant map, you had nothing to attach to your weapon for those long-range engagements. You just either had to get lucky or kamikaze charge your opponent for a better chance to hit, because 1 to 3 hits in this game can take down an opponent. The TTK is pretty low. Scopes are just a really nice addition. They added some new environmental changes, some new areas and visuals here and there, as well as some audio sounds, which is great because, if I'm honest, the audio still kind of sucks, specifically the ambient sounds. They're not good, and I understand it's early access, you have a lower budget, but it does sound like some of those things are recorded in a garage. 3 months after that, another update came, and this, again, added several new weapons. The Barrett M99 was added to the game, obviously, always a fun weapon, as well as a couple LMGs. Some new armors were also added, which is cool. They also added in airdrops, which airdrops on the map are where you go and you grab goodies and hopefully you get out there before the other guy. Or you could just, stake it out with your new Barrett and laugh for a while. Shortly after that, they added gestures. Since this game is PvP and PvE, it's good to have these things in there for people without mics. Also, good for trolling. Swimming was added as well if you want to, take a dip. The last 2 recent updates, which brings us to where we are today, added some new locations, new missions, new items that assist you in survival and crafting, and the always needed in every single shooter, holding your breath while aiming. Personally, I just don't see how games cannot implement this because it is a stabilization method, especially with something like fatigue. And then finally on Christmas, they added a neat military bunker to make things fun. Wandering traders, cute skins, and, what the game needed from the initial launch, a shift and alt click for picking up and dropping items. Looting before was so ridiculously time consuming and slowed down the game, and it made you a sitting duck for way too long. Wasn't a huge fan of that, obviously. Alright, that's up for the updates so far. This was back in December, 4 months ago. That's when that last one released. It's currently April, so I'll be honest, not a whole lot has changed to the game from the initial launch. New weapons are always a nice thing, as well as some new locations, but there really hasn't been anything exciting that would make me get back into this game. Until this bad boy arrives. Cars. They're adding vehicles to the game, and they'll actually drive. I can't even begin to describe how needed this has been. Half the time I'll spawn in the middle of the map, and the closest task to me is about 12 minutes of running in an open field and up and down mountains. The cars will be a complete game changer. Much like the addition of optics, this is one of those things that will improve the game's level of enjoyment. It's also something that will make it more fun for those role players that set up gangs and want to attack other bases. Imagine an envoy of cars cruising across the landscape to attack a rival gang's base and take all their loot. Continuing on, they're going to add something which will be helpful to random casual players like myself, a terminal system to transfer items between servers. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to work exactly. They say it's going to cost some cash in-game, but a nice addition, because one of the things that I had trouble with being such a casual person is when I came back months later, the server was completely dead. There are also some new items coming. A lot of cosmetics, including a ghillie suit so you can really be the thorn in someone's side. They'll also be adding some more weapon modifications so that you can place it on your brand new Scar and a FAMAS. It looks like some extended mags, some suppressors, some new optics. I kind of like it. Just of note, the vehicles aren't going to be added to the newest update, but they are coming. The rest appears to be in the new 0.1.2 update coming within the next few months. There's no real time frame for this update given, so it could be a while for all this stuff to get in there, especially those cars. And given the speed at which they've been updating lately, it could be possibly half a year until all that's sorted out. And unfortunately, that's about all I've got. While the game is a decent casual survival game that you can hop in and play, without the vehicles at the moment, it makes it pretty tough. If I've got 30 minutes to play, I'm not able to just hop in and do a quick mission because I may be spawning completely across the map. The addition of vehicles will hopefully improve the ability to play briefly and allow for more action-packed content instead of a running simulator 2021. In my opinion, just my opinion, the game isn't worth getting back into at the moment. It's going to need a little bit more to do, I guess, and a little bit more action before I start making some sort of consistent content on it. The game is gorgeous, looks fantastic, it's got a future, and it's a nice survival game, but if you've only got a small amount of time to play, it may not be for you right now. But who am I? I'm just a lowly YouTuber who plays mostly hardcore tactical shooters. This may not always be my cup of tea, but we'll see how the game progresses. Thanks for stopping by. If you're still here, you're a true hero. I appreciate your time, and until the next one, stay tactical.